I'm trying to get this done before work. This is part 2. I gotta hold the phone this time. All right, so what we ended up having, I had the letters up here, and I couldn't make sense in my head of what I was really trying to do. Happens all the time. But so basically we had a run here on a big triangle of 8. So that turns into 8 on the small triangle. On the diagonal is up here on the top. So I'll put that. You divide 6 into 10, it's 0.6, and then multiply it by 8. So I believe that's 4.8. I can't really do the calculator right now because I'm holding everything. But that's your critical dimension for the other part of the ratio. So remember down here we had this one. This right here where the X is. That will be the top. That would be the rise, and then the run would be the number that we just got here. So I didn't have numbers for the bottom one, but I showed you exactly how you get that, and then you just make a triangle with that, or a rise and run. And if you are looking down, if you're looking straight up the rake at the end of that sleeper, where you'll have a miter, it doesn't matter because you're not really looking for the angle on it. You're looking for the angle. See if I can draw it, even though I'm holding the phone with this other hand. I'll shake a little bit real while I get this marker off. Hang on, put the phone down for a sec. And so this is my left hand. So if you're looking at the edge of that board, this is what you're going to see. There's your bevel. What we've just done is we've got the rise and the run. This is the run, and this right here is the rise. All right, so whatever your numbers are, you could simply take it and put it. You could change this. You can make another one and change your, what they call this right here, your rise to 1.5, 1.5, right? That's your thickness of your stock. And it's going to give you a measurement, because now when we say that's the run, right? So we need to get, so we're going to divide 8 into 10 times 1.5, and that gives you whatever your number is right there. And then you can measure it over on your board, and you could actually draw in on the side. You can draw your angle. You can measure it with the speed square, or you could just, what I do is I usually just get the pitch. So instead of doing 1.5, I'll figure out whatever that pitch is, put it, I'll have 12 on the bottom. Now remember, this is going to be longer. So this is going to be like 1.25 inches or something like that, or, So but once you get that, now you have that pitch. So let's just say, for example, it was a 10 pitch. Now you can look at your square and get the degrees for the saw. Or you can use a T-bevel and put it on your table of your saw and adjust it to that. I'll be honest with you, I've never really done that before, but it's, you could do it. If you got to go through all that, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be doing this process anyway, but that gives you your angle. Now, in my experience, most of these end up with a shallower pitch is going to be, this is going to be kind of a shallow bevel. If you had the saw on top, you're not going to be able to cut that. You're going to have to put the saw on the board on edge, and then run the saw on top, and you're going to start in this corner, and then wherever it finishes out, the saw blade will end up like that. And I believe, I've done this a few times, I believe you just keep that same the angle that you're using is going to be what I would refer to as, if you had your framing square like this and you had your board here, we call this a plumb cut and we call this a seat cut. So what you're going to be cutting with the saw is the seat cut angle. So you got to get, if you're familiar with how to get a seat cut angle from knowing your pitch, you're going to put the square perpendicular. You mark where the pitch is on the board and then rotate your square out to where you are aligned with that one. And you can read that degrees there. And that's you could do it mathematically. I'm not going into that right now. I got too much shit up here on the board, but and that's it. The last part of what I did was a little sloppier, but I really wanted to show you how to get that ratio. That's the most important thing on this video. And just to kind of reiterate what I had talked about at the very beginning, I understand that this is not really, I know there's a guy called Awesome Framer. I've seen he does a good video on this stuff, but he also does not, his method of getting the bevel is kind of more of a formula method. I'm more visual. I'm more geometric, I would imagine, in my approach, because I like to understand how I'm getting the information, not just, I don't like to memorize formulas. I don't have any of this memorized. I couldn't tell you a formula for any of this. It's all based upon looking at the triangle itself and kind of, knowing how triangles work and getting all my information like that. Now, you might, on a job site, I'm not doing any, on a framing a house, I'm not doing any of this really. It's not fast enough. The way I do it is not fast enough. If you got Construction Master, you can punch all the buttons in, and I don't really do that. I'd rather just use the old way. It's easier for me. But to me, this is kind of fun to learn this stuff. I know a lot of the older guys, they've been doing it for so long, and, they're really good at the math part of it. So I hope that it intrigues somebody, your interest. But that's all I got for this one.